Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Coach's Show with Coach Tommy Tice. I'm your host, Lauren Tepper. Coach, Friday night was a very interesting game. We played Greenwood. They came to town. Unfortunately, there is no love lost to see them leave town either, was there?
Well, I tell you, Greenwood, a great team.
Oh,
and they have an outstanding football program. Everything in Greenwood revolves around the football program. Nobody can go to any spring sport practice or pre-spring sport game until they go through off-season football. And so it's very, very important in Greenwood, Arkansas. And they're one of those places that's very blessed in being in the location they're in, too. If you can't play at Fort Smith, you can come down the road and play at Greenwood. And that happens quite often. And they have a great team. Marco Voda, the middle linebacker.
He was phenomenal.
He is a great football player. Tony Sandifer, number 10. Hogan, the quarterback, was just outstanding. And the two running backs, very good. But the thing about their offensive linemen and all their defense, they could run. They could give you a crease. They could take that crease away really, really quick. I think that Greenwood and of course, we know that Siloam Springs beat them, but Siloam Springs turned around and beat Greenbrier.
So they may be better, and that win on homecoming night looks real good for the Goblins.
Well,
that's a positive deal,
and that's a big win for us.
Yes,
and we have to just continue to build on that to get into what we're going on the rest of the schedule. But Greenwood, I thought Alma was the best team. I don't know that last date, Greenwood versus. Alma is really probably going to decide the conference championship. The other thing, Greenbrier could lose out. Have you thought about that?
No, I hadn't.
They played. They got beat by Siloam Springs. They're fixing to play Alma, Greenwood, and Bologna. They could lose,
and they lose out.
They could lose four in a row.
That's 4 losses in a row.
And we understand that Winston may have broke his leg in the ball game with Siloam Springs, and if that happened, it's going to be tough on Greenbrier. You go back to our ball game with Greenbrier, and how many we were across their 40 about 6 or 7 times and don't finish. But Siloam Springs go down there to beat them 41-24. What a big, big victory! And shockwaves just throughout. But that ought to tell our kids something. We're struggling right now to just keep our kids' heads up. To an opportunity's coming, and when an opportunity's coming, we've got to be able to grasp it. And that's where coaching comes in, is to be able to motivate and inspire and demand all at the same time, and keep our kids up and keep them focused on what the prize is ahead. Because I came in Sunday thinking, well, we just got people out there just loafing, don't care, and that type of thing. Boy, that's the thing you really, really worry about as a coach. I didn't see any of that.
No, they gave a good effort.
We got whipped, and sometimes you get whipped. Well, you don't have to like it, 12 rounders over, you got whipped, I want our kids asking, when's the rematch?
Yeah, when's the
rematch? Let's go again. And but sometimes you get whipped, and if you think you're never going to get whipped, you're wrong. I'm telling you, there's always somebody out there bigger, stronger, and faster, and you're going to see yours. And when you do, then of course you got to react to it accordingly.
And looking about some positives, and looking back on the season, the Siloam Springs, we spotted them 14 points, big plays by Mikey Andresen, playing the free safety, the pick, the fumble recovery, boom, a little small break, like talk about taking advantage of the opportunity that's given to you. In the Greenbrier, we kept Bertram in check that night. Hunter Winston beat us in the second half.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's such a great back. And you take him away from them, and they're not nearly as good.
Right.
They can't put another back in there like that. Boy, have we seen some backs, this
phenomenal.
League is full of them. And we're going to see another one this week, unfortunately. Criswell from Morrilton's just as good as any of the other backs. Now, Morrilton's not as good overall a team as the rest of them, but the play of the back is. But, Greenwood, gosh, they're phenomenal, I'll tell you, because of their ability to run and their ability to make big plays. I thought that Hogan, I wondered about him as a quarterback. Had never played it before. Comes in there and he's 6'4".
Oh, he was huge.
And a great athlete, can run, but he put the ball on the money most of the night. We never got to him. We never got to him on the blitz, and we went after him a few times, and we just couldn't get there. They did a great job picking up our blitzes, and then of course we got a great reverse by Jeremy Johnson. It was an exciting play for us. John Colliver kicked a field goal for us when we really should have, probably got a touchdown. But it's always good to have old reliable John. He was sick as a dog, had a migraine headache, and just, I knew he didn't feel like playing, but that's the way John is. He always gives everything to his team, and he plays hard all the time, and he's kind of our old bell cow, the old steady guy that we've got to kind of rock to build on there. But our league, golly, now look what Huntsville gets beat by Alma, 28-14. And somebody said, "Well, how's that happen?" I said, "Well, McCoy didn't play.
Right.
He played very sparingly. He was either injured, sick, or they were disciplining him some way, and they were 14-14 in the third quarter, and then they go on and win. And they've got, they've got Siloam Springs. Huntsville's got Siloam Springs and Morrilton and us to close out with. We've got Morrilton down there, got Bologna here, and then we go to Huntsville to close out. This race is just
still wide open.
Else. And what, like we were talking about earlier, what if Greenbrier lost out? Number one team in the state last week.
Right.
And they've got a good chance to lose out.
Yeah. They lose out. We win out. We're 4-3. They're 3-4, and we're
in the hunt.
We're in the hunt for the playoffs.
Here's the thing: tough times don't last. Tough goblins do. Always look to tomorrow. Something bad happens to you today, just means something's good around the corner waiting on you. Don't hang your head. Don't despair. Just keep swinging. It's like baseball. Don't go up there for a walk. Go up there and hit a home run.
That's right.
You got 3 cuts at it. Let's take 3 good cuts at it. And that's what we expect our guys to do. And once we get it out of their head, and get the disappointment gone, and that we lost these 2 ball games, then we'll be just fine. And right now we need our seniors and we need our fans, and we've got to do a good job with them. These 16, 17-year-old kids, and they're not going to make all the right decisions all the time.
We need a big crowd down in Morrilton to make the trip with the team. But you played 2 quality teams back-to-back weeks. I mean, we've talked about this. The front end of our 5A West Conference schedule was front end loaded. It was really,
we've had the worst schedule.
I mean, it's tough. I don't playing Greenwood. It wouldn't matter if you played them here, there. That was, in our opinion, was probably the best team we've seen. All around dimensionally, they could play both offensively and defensively.
And they had a passing game to go with a running game. That, like I say, they had everything going for them. You look at, and that's the reason we played the tough schedule. I mean, Sheridan, they're sitting there at 2-4 right now in a tough league. Van Buren, number 5.
They're 6-1. Their only loss is to Bryant. Who's undefeated.
Yeah, so that's a tough ball game. So we're used to tough games, but we've got to go back with the right attitude. Expect good things to happen. Play hard, just keep playing all out, and expect good things to happen, and good things will start happening.
And they will happen, and that's kind of the opportunity. Make the most of our opportunity, because we didn't have bad field position. We started even in the Greenwood game. Don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot, but we got good field possession throughout the game. We had opportunities. There were some good positives. Mikey Andresen again played phenomenal in the secondary. Has really come on in the last few weeks since the Siloam Springs game. I think he's that's like his 3rd game in a row with a pick.
I tell you, he is a ball hawk back there, and that's the thing that Mikey does real well. You got to play to your strengths, and one of the biggest strengths that we have with Mikey is putting him in center field, letting him roam around and just play the ball. Because he has a nose for it.
Right.
And this pick, as we'll see on this film, a one-handed pick.
Right.
Of course, I told him when he was running the thing down the sideline, I said, "You just got tired, didn't you?" He said, "Coach, I really did get tired." A lot of times that old adrenaline's hard to swallow.
It is.
And turn it into fuel. But, he's playing well back there. Our defensive front, the 2 defensive ends, or 3 defensive ends, really, Gray Gomez and Cody Hale and Eric Mitchell with Brandon Davis in the middle at nose guard. They're playing well. And
Ray Gomez has gone up against some big horses lately. I mean, he is, at Alma it was a 380 and 320 on that side. Last week against Greenwood, they were no slouches either. And when you're 185, 190 pounds, you may be able to battle in the first quarter, but, eventually the size and the weight starts to wear on you. But he's done extremely well, and never given up.
Well, we got good kids, and their hearts are good. Austin Jensen at linebacker, and Taylor Wells, and Trey Holtby and John. Those guys, doing real well. Caleb Frazier's done a good job. We had a sophomore come in and play some good minutes for us the other night, Seth Billings, and those guys they play hard, but hey, they're getting whipped. We'll get back up.
That's right.
It's never going to be acceptable. We're never going to allow them to do it. We're not going to let them lay there. They're going to have to get back up and get back in there and go back to swinging, because that's what's expected of a man. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to train these young people to be. We're trying to train these people to be young men, how to react to adversity. We're facing a little adversity. What are you going to do? You're going to lay down? No, you're going to get up. You're going to get up, and you're going to get back in there, and you're going to get back on that horse again. And nobody's going to quit, and nobody's going to give in, nobody's going to give up, and that's the way it's going to be.
Well, Coach, let's take a short break. We come back, we'll look at the highlights of the first half. We'll be right back.